Hello again, RoyZesch.REALTOR here with Coldwell Banker Legacy in San Angelo. Today I'm going to continue my series on some of the rural counties around San Angelo, and today we're going to talk about Sterling County. Now, Sterling County is off to the northwest of San Angelo. There's not a huge variation in Sterling County. When you look at it, there's almost no farmland, a little bit along some of the creeks and rivers. There's not much in the way of real water features. There's three-ish creeks, and then the North Concho River runs up through there, kind of peters out. It drains pretty much all of the rainfall that runs off in Sterling County ends up in the North Concho River. Again, all the creeks that are there feed into it, but there's just not much that you see water in. You know, in the springtime, there's some places that you'll see pools of water, and the further you get downstream on the middle Concho, or the North Concho, excuse me, then you'll start to see a little bit more. But the further west you get, the less there is. And talked about this a little bit with Urion County, but one of the things you got to realize in this part of West Texas is that the rainfall rates are diminishing as you proceed further westward. And I don't have the exact numbers, but I would estimate there's probably at least one, maybe as much as 2 inches difference in average annual rainfall from the eastern edge of Sterling County to the western edge of Sterling County. So that affects just everything out there. So you just got to consider that if you're looking for places to buy and that type of stuff, and carrying capacity of the land, the productivity for farming or anything else, or just even for residential use, or a play property. It's still the way that the deer and wildlife respond is different as that rainfall changes. So the vast majority of Sterling County is pretty much this rolling type of hills. There's a lot of limestone there. As you get back to the north of 87, as you're heading from San Angelo to the northwest towards Sterling City, there's some bigger ridges in there that are mostly limestone. And then as you get north of Sterling City back to the northeast corner of the county toward Coke County, there's a little bit of bigger ridges with some cedar and stuff. But cedar is in spots of Sterling County, but not real widespread over most of the county. Most of it's a little bit too dry for it, or it just has a little bit better quality of soil. But you see it in places. Again, almost no farming. A little bit can be along the river and creeks, but that's just about it. It's a really nice area. I mean, it's pretty. If you like the West Texas landscape, Sterling County is really an ideal example of it. It really looks that rolling stuff and mesquite flats. Again, very few trees unless they're along the creeks or planted and taken care of by people, around houses or stuff like that. There's also a substantial amount of oil activity in Sterling County, particularly as you get to the western end. Then you also have wind turbines that are pretty much from Sterling City back toward the northeast. So those affect the way it looks, and those are on some of those higher ridges and stuff in that area. So those are factors to consider if you're looking at property. Do you want to be close to that? If you're looking for, especially in the last oil boom, there was a lot of activity in Sterling City because of that. And so there's lots and places that they had yards for oil field service companies, and some of that kind of gets to that edge. But not a huge amount of it, because most of the activity is further west, even from Sterling City. So that's really kind of all of it there is. I mean, it's, the oil activity, and that affects things. The property values, house values can vary drastically in periods of high oil activity, because Sterling City up beyond the fringe does tend to get some of that. So you got to be prepared for that, and if you're buying or selling, kind of figure out the time frame. Sometimes you got to sell, and it's a bad time when oil's down, or you need to buy, and it's a busy time when oil is high and the demand is high. So, but there's a good bit of variance in demand from time to time. Also, just like Urion County, there's a lot of larger ranches as you get further west in Sterling County. So a lot of those have been in the family for generations, very, very large. I mean, there's one for sale right now. It's over 8,000 acres, and there's certainly some much larger than that ones that are out there that aren't for sale. So there's some stuff comes on the market, but it's just not a real active market. There's not a lot of stuff being bought and sold, even though it's a large area. Sterling County is nearly 952 square miles or something, so it's a large area, but there's a lot of it that's taken up with large land holdings. The properties get smaller as you get back towards San Angelo down 87 that way. They've been broken up and sold off, and so if you're looking for the small acreage, smaller, could be 25 acres up to several hundred, then that's probably a better place to look. And a lot of times if somebody is coming out of San Angelo, that's an area they want to be anyway to get closer access to San Angelo. So that's a brief overview of Sterling County. Got any questions, give me a call, 325-268-0775. RoyZesch.REALTOR. Thanks.